Good morning. Welcome to Fibertown. This is episode 155. This is the last day of May 2016, and I'm here with my friend Alice. Thinks there are more cookies up here, but there are not. And welcome. My name is Emily. If you are brand new, thank you so much for coming. Emily, Chain of Fools on Ravelry, Fibertown with an R-E on Instagram, and I have my Alice here. I'm getting her belly scratched now. And yes, we wanted to check in and chat with you guys. I don't know about this video setup. I'm on my porch again, and it's hot and humid, and bam, we have summer. I've been complaining about rain and gloom and cold, and all of a sudden here I am, sleeveless on my porch. So, welcome. I have quite a few things to talk about and show you guys today. Let's see, the first is the friend along. Friend is the word of the month for May, and so today is the last day. Get your final items in. However you relate to that word is acceptable. You just have to find a way to do that. The June word is free. You're out of school. You're free for the summer, hopefully. Probably not if you're an adult, but that's the word I picked for June. So, relate your crafting to the word free, and away you go. The last sort of mini item to talk about is the hashtag handspun shelf. I will be closing that thread in the next 2 weeks. I will post again on Instagram. There is a lovely fibery prize. It's about 3 ounces of gorgeous wool silk blend. It's not quite right. This is more of a lime green through here. This is from Fiber Monster. It's beautiful. And a turtle-made supported spindle with Celtic theme. Donated by Flonez Sarah, who will hopefully be back on the podcast in the next few weeks, talking about her year of West knits. So, let's see. I have FOs, I have works in progress, spinning, stash, acquisitions and a recommendation, and just general chatter about my crafting the past almost 2 weeks. There's been a lot of tying up of loose ends of crafting, so let's just get right into it. I have a sockhead hat that is an FO. This is out of, gosh, what's her name? The dog barfing back there is distracting me. She's not actually barfing, she's just coughing. Oh my gosh, Nomadic Yarns, the Rhinebeck Sweater Weather colorway. I did this on a US 4, I think. 16-inch circular. It's a gorgeous colorway. That's kind of, no. The camera does not do it justice. So about 4 inches of ribbing, about 6 inches of stockinette, and then the slouchy decreases. Oops, I wish you all could see this. She's playing with a stink bug. She throws it up in the air and she rolls around with it and on it, and she's eating it. Sorry, too much information. The dog. Yeah. So sockhead hat, finished. Now, the other FO. This is I think I finished this sweater about a year ago. Maybe a year and a half. This is the Party Mix by Julia Farwell Clay, and it has been heavily modified now. The original Party Mix has side panels that are triangular that go from the armpit, see that area right here? They sort of, 2 horns come up into the back raglan section near the armpit, and into the front raglan, and then they're skinny, and then it becomes this sort of wider triangle down at the bottom. I cut those out because this thing was massive on me, and so now it's just a front and a back panel. So yeah, the other side has been redone too. Now, it was tricky. I'm not 100% happy with how the armpits are because there's extra fabric here. I had to finagle a place for it to go. It used to hang onto the horns of the side panels, and those are no longer there. So I played around with it. It's mostly hand spun. This is a BFL silk from Julie Spins. It's just gorgeous. It's striped occasionally with other purple hand spuns. These sleeves are Polworth silks dyed by me and spun by me. And then the back is Cascade Eco Wool. So hopefully this will be wearable for someone in my family. If not me, then for my daughter. So, tied up that loose end. There were just a lot of things hanging around the house, that in the craft room specifically, that were bothering me. And one of them was my barn raising squares. I had 18 barn raising squares made, and I realized I just really didn't love making them. And it felt like it was something that was weighing me down. So, I seamed them all together, mattress stitched them, which is not fun. But I did it, and then it's still I'm still playing around with this pillow and making it look decent. But I think it looks kind of cool. It reminds me of one of these, of a turtle almost, you know, that has different sort of squares on its back. So yeah, lots of fun squares. There's hand spun. Let's see, we have Fiber Nymph, hand spun, Regia, Vesper, hand spun. These two are both Gourmet Stash hand spun. Fiber Nymph, Soft Kitty, that's a lollipop. More, I don't know what this is. This was given to me. More Gourmet Stash hand spun. Gil's Art, Graffiti and Asphalt. This is Cakewalk, Cherry Blossom. This is Lemonade Shop. This is Enchanted Knoll Farm, Common Grackle. What is this? This is Claudia Hand Paint. This is a Mad Tosh, I believe. This is a Mad Tosh. This is a Miss Babs. I think this is a Mode Knit by Annie Modisette. She has a yarn dyeing company now. So yeah, I have a barn raising pillow, and I'm still floofing to get it to lay right. But I kind of like it. My little turtle pillow. Now, the only, I do have an FO from a student, but for some reason the picture is not pulling up. One of my students, Maria, two of my students in particular, have been sending me pictures, and Maria sent me a striped hat. She was doing stripes, and she, I think it has a pom-pom. It's for her grandmother. So I really enjoy seeing what the knitters that I've made are making themselves. So that's, I kind of count that as an FO of my own by proxy. I have some sewn FOs. I am wearing one of them. This is this is an Alabama Channon A-line tunic dress pattern. And I had this dandelion jersey in my stash, my fabric stash. Here it is. It's very long. It's a maxi dress. It has pockets. It's basically the A-line tunic, but made into a dress and with pockets. A very long dress. I think I used three yards. I did not do any binding yet, and I probably should because I've got this armpit cleavage showing. But again, I might not. It might just be, it rolls a little bit because it's knit, and that's fine. I've been wearing the heck out of this dress. I love it. It's super comfy. It's so easy to make. I've done flat felled seams on the wrong side. Trying to think if there's anything else to say about how you make this dress. There are 4 panels, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So 1, 2, 4 seams. Yeah, in the pockets. So love it. It's not in the Alabama Channon style, and that's embellished and hand sewn, but it's great just for a fast thing to sew up. The other thing I sewed was this pattern, which I purchased at a store in Old Town, the Sew Stitch Shop, or is it Stitch Sew? Hang on. No, it doesn't say on the label. So yeah, this is from Blueprints for sewing. It's the cabin top. And I did version B with welted pockets, a tunic length. And my next question is, oh, here it is. It's wrinkly. I wore it. Now I went into this thinking, okay, I'm going to make a muslin because the pattern is sized for a B bust. And to tell you the truth, I don't even know what my current measurements are because, over the life of a woman, especially if she becomes a mother, those things have a life of their own, and they change in size and shape, and, it had been a while since I'd actually bought bras, and I've never been had that professional sizing thing done, and I think I might need to. That said, it's probably way more than you wanted to know, but that said, there are a lot of modifications to be made to this pattern if you don't fall in the B cup range. I kind of thought I did, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to make a muslin, and it turns out there's really no easy way to make a muslin for this top. So it was quite labor-intensive and fiddly, and this is what I have. It's out of curtain fabric. Not actual curtain fabric. It's not home dec weight. It's quilter's cotton weight. But I had actually used it for curtains. And I am glad that I went ahead and did this because I don't think this is quite the right fit for me. So it's got a very simple round neck with binding. The front and the back are joined at the shoulders by this panel, again, with flat felled seams. Hang on. This panel right here. See that? It goes all the way across to over here. There are kimono sleeves, which means they're cut out as part of the pattern, and you don't set them in. They're just continuous from the neckline out. But man, it was a lot of work to make a muslin. There's no simple way to just slap it together and see if a fit looks good. There are bust starts. I don't think they sit correctly on me, so I need to try to figure out how to modify this. This is super cute. It's a super cute tunic length over leggings or tights. Could be a dress. And the welted pockets, I would say, are worth the price of the pattern. You could put these into anything. And it was easy. The instructions here are the pockets. Easy to follow for the most part. I did have to sort of figure out as I went. But I think eventually, once I recover from making this, I will make another one in some different fabric. Maybe with adjustments. I don't know. Because I'd hate to make another muslin with the adjustments. I don't know. We'll see. So is that it for... Yes, that's all of the FOs. Now, the works in progress. Well, I do have a hoe. It is a sock. This is going to be for my husband for Father's Day. This is West Yorkshire Spinners 4-ply. This is not the owl colorway. This is the mallard colorway. Yeah, I don't know how I ever looked at this and saw this with my eyes, these colors, and said owl with my mouth, because no. I will show you the owl colorway later on, but this is mallard, and it's kind of cute. My husband used to read the book Make Way for Ducklings to our kids, and English is not his native language, and he would say Mr. Mallard. Make Way for Ducklings is a classic children's book. I cannot remember the author, but he would call him Mr. Mallard instead of Mr. Mallard, so I think it's quite fitting that he get these for Father's Day. So it's the mallard colorway, and it's Queensland rustic for the accent pieces. The second is on the needles. So I do 64 stitches in the leg, increase to 68 at the heel gusset. When I pick up stitches for the heel gusset, I pick up more, and I only decrease down to 68 stitches instead of 64. Now on the toe, I did two. Usually I knit a decrease round and then a plain round, decrease round, plain round, all the way until I get to maybe 12 stitches, and then I Kitchener. In this case, I wanted to make the toe a little bit longer, and so I did 2 sets of a decrease plus 2 plain rows before I did that decrease every other row. It's in one of my Holland Handmaids bags. I hope Holland Handmaids comes back to podcasting. I miss her. I hope I haven't missed any. I don't think so. Anyway, cute little bag. In another Holland Handmaids, every bag I have today is a Holland Handmaids bag. I'm knitting the Pincha. Oh my gosh, I need to look up the author. The name is not easy for me to pronounce. She is, this is a free pattern, of course, because it's from Knitty. It's from the latest Knitty, and I'm using Gamut, colorway I just showed you without telling you what it was. Gamut from Another Crafty Girl, and this is in her sock. I think it's a merino nylon. So let me see who designed Pincha, Pincha. And then I'll show you the beautiful, beautiful work in progress that is the Pincha out of this colorway. Come on. My autocorrect changed it to Pincha with a space. Okay, this is by Pinpalan Wangsai. I love this thing. It does require that I have solitude to knit. I have 6 feathers at this point. Here they are. Really love this thing. It is pretty much all short rows. Every single row is a short row of some sort. It's just delightful to knit. Don't like how you can see through it. So I'm knitting this on US 6s. It's just every color. I love this thing. Highly recommend it. It's pretty miraculous how you get the sort of chevron-y kind of effect with the short rows. You see that? I need to knit another feather on it today. I think weighing my yarn and seeing what I have left, I think I have enough for about 19 or 20 feathers. So it should be pretty substantial, I hope. The final work in progress is my Threshold, which is in my patchwork bag from Holland Handmaids. This is a Melanie Berg. Her designer name is Marylind, I think. Marylind. So, I finished the body. There's the body in my Threshold. Mistakes and all. It's mostly blocked. It has a split hem. If you can see that right there. This is the back, this is the front. Now I have picked up for a sleeve, and I'm using my Marbles DPNs, which I really love. And, I mostly knit the Threshold body on US 4s and 5s, but I like to go up a needle size for the sleeves just because I knit tighter in the round than I do flat. But, technically this was in the round, so maybe that logic doesn't apply. Here's the back of it, just stuck in it. I don't believe I'm getting any laddering on the sleeves. I knit the first stitch on a new needle, and then I pull tight, knit the second stitch and pull tight, and no laddering. I don't think you can see because of the dark yarn, but I might change to 12-inch circulars just because there's a lot of this. and this. And it may cut that in half. I know I'll still get that with a circular needle, but it may lessen it. I don't know. I'm going to try. But I really do like these marbles. They're so fun with the color, with the yarn color. I love that contrast. All right, let's make sure. Oh, I do have another whip. It is a sewing work in progress. And this consumed me for a little while. This is a Bargello quilt. I'm using Robert Kaufman Rainbow Kona Cotton Rainbow Jelly Roll. I know that's a lot to say. Let me show you what I have so far. Let's stand up if I can do that. Now, I mentioned last time that I was going to there's the bottom. I mentioned last time that I was going to not bind this quilt, but sew it together with its backing right sides together, and then turn it inside out through a hole, and then sew up the hole. And I've learned since that is called birthing a quilt, which is very picturesque. And that there are quilters are very opinionated. I shouldn't be surprised. So are knitters, I mean. But there's a lot of, I think the opinions might even be stronger in the quilting world about methods, ways to do things. I mean, you know, you talk about sock knitting and there's so many different ways to do it, but people are pretty accepting of your way. People have very strong opinions about quilts, and I appreciate hearing that from people who know much more than I do about quilting, because it allows me to make a more informed decision. And I don't think I will do the birthing a quilt method. Someone left a message on my blog about it, and I do have a quilt someone gave us for our wedding anniversary, our wedding, and it's got a scalloped edge, so it is made that way. It's made by birthing a quilt. It's not bound, and that thing is fraying at the seams. The seams don't hold up. Granted, it's 20 years old, but I think I will do a binding anyway. Suffer through that. Maybe I'll be better at it now that I've sewn the Alabama Channon bindings by hand. So, yes, so this is the tutorial I'm using is off of Let's Quilt Something. Rainbow Bargello is what it's called. The particular entry is called that. So I have 2 jelly rolls, and I may buy a third if this does not turn out as big as I would like. So what you do is you sew the strips together along their long sides. So you can see this is the second one. Once you've gone through all the colors, you make a tube right sides together and sew it's together along its right sides together along its length. And then you cut varying widths of strips from your pieces. So, for example, the first strip might be a 1/2 inch wide. And I'll show you here where that is. So you start with a very small strip. Then you cut maybe a 1/4 inch wider. And they get wider and wider and wider. So my strips are getting wider. And I'm about to start, I've started going down in size again. But it makes this, when you get the whole thing sewn together, it makes this optical illusion, which is super cool. And who doesn't like rainbows? Now the back, apparently pressing your seams is another highly controversial topic. And different quilting experts have differing opinions, and you can always find someone who will support or not support the way you want to do it. But the quilt tutorial says to press the seams open. But with all of these intersecting seams, I thought that would just make for a disaster. Plus, some people I trusted were like, no, pressed them to one side, and that just made the pressing a lot easier. So it should make the quilting of it simpler as well, I hope. At least, you know, I have one specific way I'm doing all the seams. So that's good. So that's it for works in progress. Let's move on to spinning. Are you guys doing Stash Dash? I have decided that I will do my own version of it, but I will not be posting in the group. That's just a lot of pictures and so forth for me to keep track of. But I do want to keep track of how much I'm doing this summer. I think that's a great idea. I don't want to win prizes, so I don't want to have to navigate that massive thread that the Knit Girls get going. But it's a great thing. And if you don't know what Stash Dash is, it's, I think this is year 5, maybe? It's basically a challenge to yourself to see how many kilometers you can spin, knit, weave, crochet. Yeah. So check out the Knit Girls with 3 L's. I'm sure you know them already. But if you haven't, check them out. I believe there are prizes this year. Now, I think I'm going to aim for 7K, and I have a feeling it's going to be mostly spinning. Finished spinning my Shetland. This is Moneypenny. This is 12 ounces total. Moneypenny is a little Shetland ewe from the Ross Farm in Pennsylvania. And she's delightful, and she has varying colors. She has this Emskit color, and that's Gallic for this color. This is a 3-ply, and this is actually 2 skeins held together. They smell amazing. I feel like I may have plied it a little too tightly. I don't know. It's pretty relaxed as far as the energy goes. So, all total, let's see, this was a 2-pound fleece. There was a significant weight loss in vegetable matter. There was a lot of vegetable matter. I think that is kind of a trait of the, possibly, I could be making this up, but based on my experience thus far processing fleece from the raw state, the sheep that are more primitive breeds, that do not like necessarily to hang out with humans as much, such as Shetlands and maybe Icelandics, and again, I'm just guessing, they seem to be out there doing their thing and gathering up a lot of veg matter. So yeah, so there was weight loss in veg matter and lanolin. So out of a 2-pound fleece, and I also did, not felt, I cotted the fleece a wee bit when I washed it. Shetland really likes to felt easily. So there was some combing waste, and I did comb, not card. So from a 2-pound fleece, yeah, I lost over 50%. This is about, it's a little bit more than 12 ounces. And that's not too unusual. So, but the yarn I got, I could not be happier with it. And the Fleckit colorways were really, like, you'll see, this is also 2 skeins. There's quite a bit of variation in the colors, and if I had wanted to keep this as singles, I could have almost done a gradient effect. I did not want singles yarn. See the difference in this in the middle? So this one has definitely more of a marled look, and I adore it. So this is about 800 yards of a 3-ply out of 12 ounces. So that's the beginning of my Stash Dash, folks. Oh yeah. So there's my first spinning. I've also done quite a bit of prep on Opal. I want to get this finished and all done. Opal was my Rhinebeck 2014 fleece purchase. What is this, 4 or 5 little bats I've carded of about 1.5 ounces each. So I did these on my drum carder. Opal is a Rambouillet Corriedale cross. This is gorgeous chocolatey brown, the reddish tints on the camera. And occasionally she had like a little polka dot, which I took out the white bits because there were just not enough to make anything of, but occasionally one sneaks back in. So that's really getting close to being done. I did some sampling also of my Gotland fleece from this year's Maryland sheep and wool. And I need practice spinning on wool, people. This is very, 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 very energized still. It has been washed. It has been washed and blacked. And I need to put on my largest whirl, which I have to dig for because I usually don't use it. And it does not need as much twist as I put in here. Yeah. But it's got a beautiful shine, and I see a lot of potential for it. It's just a little bit as well. So, feels great. Feels amazing. And then I have some color. This is kind of an old purchase, and I don't know. I believe it's a mohair nylon and wool blend from Woolen Quilts. It's a big bat. Not really a bat. It's roving put into this sort of center pole form. Here's the roving. So there's my first bobbin. You can see I've made a nice dent in there. This is from, Woolen Quilts in Roarsville, Maryland. I don't think she has a website, but she has an email address. Let me flash up there again. Riley Michelle, Michelle with 2 L's, no E, then it says 60 at hotmail.com. So my camera doesn't ever focus. Stupid thing. So that's in there. So another nice amount of yardage. It'll probably be slippers or socks. Yeah, that's it. I do realize now that I've gone down to the bottom of my stash pile that I forgot to show the prize for the friend along. The winner can choose either one of these. I talked about them last time, Vesper or Hazelnuts. Both given to me by friends. And speaking of given to me by friends, that was a nice segue. I have acquisitions, and these sort of harken back to my inability to remember that this West Yorkshire Spinners colorway is mallard and not owl. Sorry, somebody has decided to, I don't know what they're doing. I hope you can still hear me. My beautiful friend, Claire from the New Hampshire Knits podcast, has opened the Woolly Thistle shop. And she sent me some more West Yorkshire Spinners. She sent me their new cocktail line. This is Tequila Sunrise, and this is Passion Fruit. All right. So sweet. She has an amazing shop. I think she's the first person to import the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. So if you are in North America, you don't want to pay shipping from England, excuse me. Woolly Thistle, Woolly with 2 L's on Etsy. Check her out. Now, if that weren't enough, the lovely Sarah Hepworth, Essie Hepworth on some of the places, I think, she also sent me West Yorkshire Spinners. And she sent me the actual owl colorway, which makes so much more sense. I think she got this lovely bag from Love Knitting. Isn't that pretty, an organza bag? So here we go. There is the owl colorway. Oh gosh, I have to wrap this up because I'm getting allergic. So this is 35% Blueface Luster. Makes for a lovely, sturdy sock. Now, she also sent me the peacock. I believe this is peacock in the birds. Is this peacock? I'll look it up. Anyway, gorgeous. And she also sent me one of the passion fruits. So guess what? The prize is going to be for June for the free along. You're gonna get one of these. I don't know. I'm gonna mix them up. I don't know who it's gonna be from. The Woolly Thistle or Sarah Hepworth, the lovely Sarah and Claire. So yeah, you could win one of these. Can't wait to knit this up. I think this is going to be my next pair of socks. With that, my friends, I'm going to leave you with a recommendation. Have you watched the Kammebornia podcast? Claire from New Hampshire Knits is the person who recommended this to me initially, and she talked about it on her podcast. And this is a Swedish podcast. There are sometimes it's in English, bits of it are in English, but it is subtitled on YouTube. So if you go to the CC and press on closed captioning, then you can get the English translation. This is a work of art podcast. It's truly, truly remarkable, and I highly recommend you check it out. Follow them on Instagram. They're about to put out a book, apparently. So yeah, check it out. It is just so full of inspiration. It's like being in a living IKEA catalog sometimes. All right, my friends, thank you for hanging out with me on my porch. Wish Alice had come up here more. She's now over there in the sun, asleep on the floor. So until next time, take care.